Hey guys, welcome back to another recording. I just want to thank you again for 250 subs. That's like one of my biggest milestones, and it's just amazing to get all the support. It's just all the support, all the commenting. It's just really amazing. This is going to come out maybe before or maybe after What If Deku had Luffy OP quirk. Anyway, I just want to thank you all for watching, and yet again, if you are new here, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and any kind of growth is amazing. And I just want to thank you all for watching this. And anyway, it is time to get into it. So, what if Deku was a Jedi? Part 1, of course. So, it starts off with him as a kid, around 5 years old, waking up to a weird dream. He dreams that a meteor has fallen from the sky. So he goes to where he finds this meteor. He sneaks out, which isn't the best. No, in fact, scratch that. He wakes up to nightmares and he shakes his mum awake and he's like, Mummy, something's bad happened. Can we go? Even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Inko is just a bit distraught because this is just after Deku found out that he's quirkless. So, he takes him out where he wants to go, out with guilty conscience, because imagine if your son just found out that, imagine if you're a mother and you just found out that your son couldn't become his dream job. So, out of pity, he takes him where he wants to go. This is to this weird random field in the middle of nowhere. This field is a fallen meteor, so scared, Inko says to stay in the car, but Deku's like, please. So out of yet again guilt, she lets the son go out, which isn't the smartest move as a mum, but still she's just dead guilty. So the son walks up to a meteor. That's when he finds at the base is what seems to be like a square kind of box that's like hand shape, but it's got weird imprints that remind him of space. And he's somewhat attracted to this cube, not like sexually, but like he's somewhat interested by the cube. So he goes, he picks it up, he like studies it, and he wants to take it home. That's when he asks to go home. So they're back in bed. He's 5. Yet again, he is 5 years old, and he's just laying there. And that's when he decides to pull the cube back out from. Well, it's on his desk side top because he put it in his pockets and then put it on his desk side top. So he pulls out the cube, and that's when it starts making a clicking noise. And he's figuring out, he's moving it with his mind, which he finds dead weird, but he sees that's a quirk, so he keeps on going with this cube, he keeps on playing with it. That's when it goes and it reveals to be like a kind of hologram, but it's been damaged in the flight down, so it's only just a voice. It's a robot voice, like it's not disclosed what voice it is, so it's just like a robot voice, and he's like, well, you're strong in the force, young Padawan, and I'm here to teach you how to use it. Once you've got past the tutorial stage, the square, this cube thing will unlock to reveal a stone. This stone will then be followed by. This stone will then need to be taken to the field where this dropped, and you will then be able to make your lightsaber. Deku asks the cube, what's a lightsaber? Well, and then he goes, well, it's a kind of. I don't know how to explain it to you, but think of it as a sword that's unstoppable by almost any material in the world. And Deku's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But first of all, you've got to learn how to wield it. That is when it says to go get some rest. And he wakes up tomorrow, and and the cube's like, day one of your training, put me on the table over there. So Deku puts him on the table, and that's when the cube's like, use your mind to bring me to your hand. So Deku concentrates really, really hard, and it takes him about a couple of attempts of it hovering up in the air before it quickly comes to his hand. And then the cube's like, well done. Next we are going to go to the beach. Deku's really confused. This is the same beach where the trash is at, and the cube is like, to the 5-year-old kid, the cube is like, oh, you're gonna have to move all this trash over using your head. And then Deku's like, what? So he first starts concentrating with the lighter items, which is like the just the tires, the cans and stuff like that. Easy stuff like that, scrap metal. He then starts to get used to it. This is about a year on, because he's been on and off training, and he's also been told to do other things like fitness runs, and he's been told to work on this every weekend. And then by about the age of 10 of doing fitness runs and just random stuff and still living his life, the cube only tells him to do this every at the end of every month. Yeah, we'll go at the end of every month. It gets him to trying to clear the beach for 2 hours. Anyway, so at the age of about 10, he's mastered the heavier objects. This is when he can lift stuff like heavier scrap metal. He can lift just like, he can drag along washing machines, and before he was able to drag along tires, now he can fully lift them. Then about the time before the slime monster, just before the slime monster, he manages to lift heavy items, and he ends up clearing the beach. This is when the cube opens up and reveals a rock. So he forms when he picks up this white rock, he forms some sort of connection to it, and that's when blue lightning starts to surround it, but it's still stabilized apparently. So he knows what he has to do next, but he realizes that he's going to be late to school. So he rushes to school. This is when sorry, I'm just going to reset the music. I just realized you're probably not going to be able to hear this, so we'll bump it up to 23. I hope it's not too loud. This is when he then gets told about Bully for being quirkless, because he's not told people he can use the Force. A, because it's not that powerful yet, and B, because it's mysterious, but it will make sense in the long run. So people just think he's got a weak telekinesis, which they're like, oh, it's better than being quirkless, but you're still useless. And you dream to go to UA, you applied to UA, unbelievable. Just taking a drink. Everyone laugh at him, which doesn't make him feel great, but he's fine with it. He's kind of like not that mad. So anyway, he goes to the meteor site after school. He rushes home after school because he left the rock in a locker, like in a safe at home. This is when he then gets attacked by the slime monster, and he tries to use the Force to fight back, but he's utterly useless. This is when All Might comes and saves him, and he's like, wow, you tried, kid, but you're just not powerful enough. Then he actually Force jumps after him and asks him, even though I've not got a strong power, will I still be able to become a hero and save a bunch of people? All Might's like, no, but with this weak power you could always become a police officer. And Deku is of course destroyed from this, but he kind of moves on. This is when he's walking home, but he naturally goes to the danger with him still wanting to become a hero. And that's when he realizes that his friend Bakugo is in trouble, so he throws a bag at him to stun the monster, which it does. So the monster being stunned, he can then use his force quirk to kind of drag Bakugo out and drag the slime, separate the slime from him, because he's now got stronger. This actually works, getting Bakugo out, but then the slime monster comes to attack Deku again. That's when All Might stands in front of him and uses Detroit Smash to beat the hell out of the monster. And then Deku starts to realise, oh god, I still need to do that thing. So he starts to rush home after being, of course, sorry, give me a sec. After being like congratulated and told he's powerful by the heroes because of this thing he's been able to do with, is not that necessarily strong power, but still he's still practicing with it, but not that necessarily strong power, but still a power, and he's used it correctly, which caused him to actually be on top of the situation. Anyway, that's when he gets offered one for all by All Might on the way home, and because he's Russian, he says, he actually says, no, I've got some sort of a power of myself, I want to figure this one out first before I take any one for all. Anyway, so he says thank you, and he says, maybe you could train me one day, and All Might's like, that's very nice of you, and yes, of course, I'll always be up to train you, since you are going to be a proper hero, and you're trying your best right now, and you inspired me. Anyway, this causes Deku to go home and pick up the rock and go to the meteor. This is when an explosion of blue light happens and pieces of a lightsaber start forming. This is, of course, the same lightsaber that Rey had. I think Finn picked up at the end, of course. Luke had. This is the blue lightsaber, and it starts forming using Deku's force powers, and he realizes that this is what he was told about the lightsaber, and it's used from the parts of the cube. So the cube is no longer there, but it's now built into the lightsaber. That's when Deku puts it between, like, puts his hands out like you would a sword and turns it on. The sword turns on, and it's powerful blue light of hope, and it's also and he's also like, this might actually get me into UA. The episode ends there with him holding his lightsaber with it powered on. I just want to thank you guys for watching this far if you did. Sorry this one's a short one, it's because I'm filming it late at night and just after another one. If this gets a good if people watch it, so I've now came up with a new rule. If someone asks for me for part 2, or I get like 10 likes, yeah, we'll go 10 likes, I'll do a part 2. If not, I'm gonna actually kill the series. This is because I'm starting way too many series, and some of them are catching on, some of them aren't. I'm ashamed to say, unless I get some more confirmation, I'm gonna have to end the What If Deku Had Ultra Instinct series. This is because I don't think many people want to watch it, which I understand, but it means the series has to go so I can focus on other ones. This will of course happen to other ones if they don't get that much attention, but I do have to say, what if Deku had a fire quirk? There still will be another part coming out for that one, even though it's not that wanted. I've already filmed it, so I don't know whether to release it or not. Tell me in this video. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and you're a banging audience, and goodbye.